Fine. So once again, very good day to everybody. We are going to discuss the ending part or maybe the conclusion part of message board app, and then we start up with the blog app. Okay. So with the message board app, in the previous class, we discussed more about initializing the project, and then we went with migrate, and then we tested, we validated, okay, with the url confs, and then we ended up. So in this particular class we discuss about bitbucket, about the heroku configuration, as well as the heroku deployment, and then we discuss something about the blog app. We just start up, okay, like with the case of initial setup, the database models. Of course we discuss about the admin urls as well as views of blog app. So this is especially for you, my dear students and young researchers, and of course you can reach me at dr.christoananth@gmail.com. So every time I don't feel tired of thanking God, still I thank God for giving me this golden opportunity to deliver this useful session, to share my knowledge among my fellow national, international participants, students and young researchers. So this is what we are going to discuss in today's class. We are going to go with message board app. We are going to continue the same, but with the case of Bitbucket create app, and then we go with the Heroku configuration about the deploying in Heroku, and then we discuss something about the blog app. We discuss about the database models. We go with the admin login page. We go with the URLs, views, templates, cons. We will discuss this, and then we have some videos to discuss the knowledge in our topics. Right. So we had already tested, we had already verified. Okay, we had already verified with this message board app. So what we are going to go, we are going to go with the create app, where we would be storing this Git, everything in a Bitbucket. Okay, so this is how you create a new repository. I am showing you a screenshot of how you create a new repository. So in the repository name you have MB. For example, if you remember MB underscore project, we just kept the name. Here we have MB app, MB-app. That's a new repository that you are creating. It is actually a private repository you are creating. So that's the reason you choose this is a private repository. Okay. Include a readme, you should select as no. And then the version control, you should definitely select as Git. Okay. Only then the repository can be successfully created. So we have on this one, like the next page, maybe we'll have like I have an existing project, and maybe in the command line you go with, within the MB we go for $git remote, you add the origin, the origin, like for example git at bitbucket.org. Here we would go with the username. Here they have given the username to be WS Vincent. Maybe you can choose your username you want to, and then /MB-app you go with .git. Okay, and then you go within the MB, you go with $git push-u the origin master. So like just like updating the install apps, install apps, we have to make some changes in order to make the successful configuration of Heroku. So what you do, you go with update pipfile.lock and then new procurement file, and then install the gunicorn, and then you go with the run server. So update settings.py. Okay, so whichever version you are using, 2.7 or maybe 3.7, you can add these two lines, these command lines, like $git remote add origin, and then $git push origin master. You are going to add them. Okay, so in the pip file, which requires the Python version, it is 3.7. Maybe if you have a lower version, you can choose that also. And then you're going to run the pip-n-lock to generate the appropriate pip file.lock. So within the prompt, you go with MB $pip-n-lock. So that will actually give path for entering the procurement file. Okay, procurement file, which is proc file, which tells Heroku how you are going to run the server. So you are going to access this procurement file. That's the reason you go with MB. Within MB $touch is actually the accessing the procurement file. Okay, So after doing all this one for the previous case, we are actually using the run server. Okay, here we test using the G unicorn. Okay, to access the production server. Okay, so this is what you do within the app. You go with G unicorn yummy underscore project dot wsi log file. Okay, so make sure this G unicorn version has been installed correctly. Like here within the MB, we have dollar pip n install G unicorn. Okay, the version is 19.9.0. You make sure it is already installed, and you make sure that the allowed host is actually updated in the settings.py file. Okay, so the allowed host, it is actually within the square brace, you make it as star. Okay, so this is it. We are all done. We can commit the changes and you can push it in the bit bucket. Okay, so this is what you do. Heroku git the remote sleepy brook 64719. So if you do this one, maybe you can maybe in the later part, maybe when you visit, maybe after maybe 2 days or maybe 3 days, still you can go with updating, right? So within the MB, you go with $git push Heroku master, and the Heroku, you are actually scaling, these all these measurements, and you are going to update the files. Okay, so this will actually automatically launch a new browser window. So see in this command line, we had Heroku git remote sleepy brook 64719. So this one we will get it in the browser window. So if you type this one sleepybrook -64719.herokuapp.com, so maybe it will come live, like maybe everything will come live. So you will see all the message board posts that will be available, like within the plus symbol, and you can edit them, you can delete them if you want to. Okay, so you have already configured the Heroku. Now the next thing is that you have to deploy this Heroku. Okay, so you have to create a database model. You can store all these posts. So the same thing we are going to do. Okay, so post slash models.py from django.db import models, and you can create the models. Okay, so remember in the previous class we saw the same thing, message board home page. Okay, hello world, second entry, this is working. Today I built my first Django project. Remember in the previous case we had 127.0.0.1:8000, but here in the browser address you see sleepybrook64719.herokuapp.com. Okay, which means it is successfully deployed. Okay, that was a sample test case, and this one is, it was successfully deployed. Okay, we move to the second part of today's class, which is blog app. Okay, so with the case of blog, I hope everybody knows about a blog. You can generally share some stuff out of it, and you can go for any trendy posts as well. So with the case of the initial setup, just like the message board app, you can create a new Django project, just like changing the directory, migration, same thing remains. Okay, so create a new directory, and then same way you exit the local, exit the virtual environment, and then you go for a new virtual environment. So install Django in a new virtual environment. Okay, and then you go for a new Django project. Okay, in this case it is not message underscore project, okay, but it is blog underscore project, because you are creating a new blog. Okay, and then you go with the creation of a new app blog, and you perform a migration, so set up the database. Okay, then you update the settings.py file in order to exit the local server, and in order to run this current server you can go with updation of settings.py file. Here you will set up a name like blog-xxx. So xxx, you can have any name if you want it. So in the command line you have $cd/desktop make directory blog. Okay, and then change the directory to the blog. Here we have a version pip n install Django, you have the version 2.1. okay, and then you have pip n shell. Okay, so here within the blog you will have $Django admin start project, you have blog underscore project, and within that you go with the manage.py the start app blog. Okay, so same thing like the message board app, you migrate to that server, and then you go with the run server, same thing. Okay, So in the text editor that you can do same thing like install apps, you can go like install apps is equal to django.contrib.admin, django.contrib.authentication, django.contrib.content types, django.contrib.sessions, messages, static files, everything same, but only difference is the last line. Okay, so there we had message.apps.blog config. So here blog.apps.blog config. So that was the new command, or maybe sorry, new code that you try to enter. Okay, so maybe if you can navigate and see to 127.0.0.1:8000, you will see the Django has been installed successfully. Congratulations. Then we have different database models that has to be created. So initial installation of Django is all complete. Okay, now you have to go with creation of the database models. Okay, for creation of the database models you can go with class post the model, and the title you have to set with the character field. The maximum length you can choose to be 200, just like the previous case. And then here there is another one modification, the author equal to models.foreign key. You are giving the authenticated user, so that's the reason auth dot user. Okay, and then on delete the models.cascade you are going to set it, and within the body you are going to go with models.text field. Okay, so just like updating these fields, just like message board app, we go with define str, the same thing remains. Okay, so return self.title, that's just the same. Okay, so whenever you go with changing the subheadings or maybe including some bulleted list, then you can use html tags. Okay, like h1 tag, h2 tag you can do for, and you can go with unordered list or maybe ordered list. So at the top we will be importing the class models and then section of models. The maximum text field you are setting at 200. Okay, so for one task or maybe multiple tasks, in order to swap or maybe in order to switch to different entries, we can actually create database models where we can use one model for everything. Okay, for example, let us take in the case if we have a website and if we have several maybe some menu options will be there, and if you click on this menu option, if you go to another page, that page should also contain the same functions as that of the home page, so it shouldn't be different. Okay, so that's the reason we create a database model, so that there is one model and that links to several things. Okay, so our new database model is created. We need to create a new migration record for it, and we can change it in the database. So within the blog you have $python manage.py make migrations blog. Okay, and then with the blog we have $python manage.py migrate blog. Okay, so these are the migrations that you do with the blog. Then the same like message board app, we have the admin homepage where we tend to have the username, email id, and then username, and then password, and then repeat password, same thing just like message board app you will have. Okay, so in the blog like $python manage.py create super user, you remember we created a super user in message board app. Okay, so username, maybe you can take whatever username you want to, the email, password, repeat the password, and then super user created successfully. Okay, so maybe if you navigate to, if you can run this local server and you can navigate to 127.0.1:8000/admin, you can log into your super user account if you have entered the field correctly. So this is the thing. So in the site administration you will have authentication and authorization. Okay, so you will have plus add, and then you can edit, you can change if you want to. So after doing this one, after creating the super this database model, okay, what you have to do, you have to update the blog/admin.py. okay, so from django.contrib import admin, from .models you are going to import the post, and just like the previous one, like admin.site.register the post. Okay, and if you try to refresh it, maybe you will see this one. Okay, like in the blog you will have post. Okay, blog you will have post. You can click on this plus add button if you want to add any post. If you want to edit it, you can go with the change. Okay. See, there is difference between this one, authentication, authorization. Then we are getting this blog over here. Also, you can see at the top, you will see welcome. That username is there. View site is there. Change password. Logout is there. So this is the first post. We had already maybe you can click on this plus add button. Okay. Make sure you select the author here. So in the author, they have selected the author. Okay, and then in the body of the text, make sure it is 200 characters long. Okay, only it accepts only up to 200. Okay, and after that it doesn't accept. Okay, so maybe if I try to scroll down, I will see this one, enter up to 200 characters. Okay, so this is my first blog post. Woohoo. Okay, so if I try to enter this one and then if I click on save, then the first post is already created. Okay, maybe I can go with the second post also, learn Django and build a blog application. If I click on save, that's a second post. Okay, so a database model is actually created. Maybe we have created the post, but so next thing we can go for 2 or 3 more posts and you see whether these 3 posts are being displayed. Next, what you have to do, you have to create the necessary views or maybe URLs or templates in order to display the information. So here with the URLs, you are going to go with this command line within the blog app. You are going to access the blog/urls.py. Okay, so you are going to import this path. Okay, from Django.urls import path. From .views import the not the post list view, but it is a blog list view. The URL patterns you are going to go with blog list view dot as underscore view. Okay, and the name you are setting it to home.
Why we should use the name for home?
Only then whatever you click into, it should go to home.
For route?
No, whenever you create a blog, whenever you go for anything, like you remember, if there is a long page, okay, if I'm scrolling down, okay, maybe it will have something back to top.
Yes, it's a button.
Back to top, or maybe there is a home button.
Yes.
If I click on home, it will go to home.
For route, this is a button is used for.
Yeah, whenever a third party is lost, you go to home. For example, you create a new account. You create a new super user account. Email ID, password, repeat password. Okay, and if you click create account, after that what happens? Super user account created successfully. Then it will go to the home page. It will not point to any other page. It will go to the home page. That's the reason we said the name is equal to home. Okay, so we are importing soon to be created views at the top. So you're going to tell the Python about what you have with the name URL or maybe the home. You can tell the views. So you should update the project level urls.py file. So blog project /urls.py. So within that you are going to set the URL. So from django.contrib import admin, from django.urls import path include, and you are including the URL patterns. Okay, so admin.site.urls, and the path, it is actually, with the case of the blog, it is blog.urls. Okay, right. So we have included everything. Okay, so we will see this one with the case of URLs. After doing all this one with the URLs, maybe we can display the contents of the post. In order to display the contents of the post, we go with the views. Okay, so we are going to list the view. Okay, so from django.views.generic import list view. So this is how you display the contents of a post. Okay, maybe if I click on this one, first post. Okay, I'll see the list of contents that I have posted. Okay, so from dot models import post and then class blog list view, the list view, and we are setting the model equal to post and the template name is equal to home.html.